Okay, Darren here, bestautodetailingtips.com. Want to take you on location yet again on a car. This is a Mercedes CL63 AMG. Really cool car, one of my favorite. Okay, it has the original sticker, window sticker in the glove box, so I thought I'd start there. It's a 2010 CL63 AMG. So they've probably had about 2.5 years. It has 35,000 miles on it. You will look that the original sticker or suggested sticker is 145,200. With all the options, it is a $155,000 car. I won't go into all the specs on it. So I normally don't show the engines because I just forget. I do take care of this car once a week. It gets detailed once a week. These are the kind of customers you want. Now, I do not do the engine every week. I rotate it. So every week it gets washed, waxed, and touched up, and so it looks showroom fresh. But I do the engine once during a 3-month period, and then I use the clay bar on it once every 3 months. So a couple things, let's pull back. This car has amazing body lines. Like I said, it's one of my favorite Mercedes. It's the big S-Class sedan, but 2 doors. So it's sporty and big. I like the bigger cars. It's got big wheels. What are these? These are 20-inch wheels, the AMG stock wheels. Got some big calipers and rotors. So first thing I want to mention, for example, is that the front of these wheel wells do not have the fabric in them, so they get dressed with the dressing. The rear wheel wells have the fabric in them, so I do not dress the rear wheel wells. Also, because I detail this once a week, I'm not worried about durability of wax. It does get waxed every week, but I use the Meguiar's Synthetic X Wax. It's a great, easy to use product. Can be used on hot paint in the direct sunlight. It's a non-staining formulation. This car does not have any black vinyl trim to really worry about other than around these head or these fog lamps right here. So that's a non-issue for the most part. But what I do is, because stock factory wheels like these called OE, which stands for original equipment, even though this is an upgraded wheel because it's an AMG package, it's a clear coated wheel. It's silver paint with clear coat, which is the same as the car paint. So when I'm done waxing this car, I will use my rag, my cloth, which is microfiber, always microfiber. I will wax these wheels, and I suggest a non-staining spray wax if you're going to do it. And I do not spray it right on the wheel because I do not want to get a bunch of spray inside the lug nuts or the openings for the lug nuts. Just and this is where the industry has, they try to lead you around by the nose, because they'll have a special wheel wax. It's like, oh, I've got to get a wheel wax. It's got to be different than the car wax because it's specially formulated for your wheels. Why? Because, oh yeah, they're so different. Really? Well, they're painted and clear coated, just like your car, painted and clear coated. So you don't have to overthink it. They'll probably come out next with a special valve stem wax or a special lug nut wax. They're forever just coming up with new products that they want to convince you that you need, but they don't really apply context to it. It's like, sure, if you want to buy a special wheel wax and use it, go for it. But is it required? No. Am I a fan of waxing wheels? Yes, because clear coat on the wheels can also degrade just like the clear coat on your paint. So yes, I do wax the wheels, but I don't overthink it. I'm just going to use my rag after I've waxed the paint, and I'm going to go around and wax the wheels very quickly. Let's see, what else was I going to highlight? Oh yes, the exhaust tips. A little story for you. Like I said, a lot of what I've learned has been from my customers, because customers are individuals. They're unique. Everyone has their hot buttons. So one day I had a customer say, "Hey Darren, how come you don't ever get my exhaust tips?" And I thought, that's a good question. I don't know why. In my mind, logically, I thought, well, they're just going to get dirty anyways. I know this sounds probably rather ridiculous coming from a detailer, and this was like over 15 years ago. But I'm telling you, I've learned so much from my customers because they all have their little hot buttons. And so things, for example, like when you're detailing a car, I've had customers come out and say, "Hey, are you going to remove the license plate and wax behind it?" It's like, well, okay, if you want me to. Or the filler cap for the gas. I now detail in here as a rule. If I'm detailing a car, I'll take off the license plate and wax behind it. I'll always get the chrome tips. You know, so it's all these features that make me a better detailer, and that's how I can justify or rationalize the prices I charge if I need to. So I have trained my customers that this is the level of service that they're going to get. I am not for everyone. I don't want to be for everyone. I don't want to be for the masses, because the masses only want to pay $100 for a full detail, when I'm charging $300 for a full detail, and that's on a light colored car. Also, an added note, we're coming on the inside. This has quite a bit of wood. It's got the satin finish metal to it. So I've used, as I've started to introduce in my videos, the Meguiar's interior quick detailer. It's great as a final wipe down. As a rule, when I use my claws, I have what's called a wet side and a dry side. It's like a wax. So I apply it with the first side and I flip it over and buff it dry and perfect with the dry side. So whenever I'm doing windows, regardless, there's always a wet side and a dry side, as I call it. And as a little side note, always check everywhere. So vanity mirrors are an easy thing to forget about. Never mind the sun visors, because they're above your head. You're so fixated down here cleaning and detailing that you forget about above your head. So the grab handle on the sunroof, that'll get mucky. People put their hands on the visor, that'll get mucky. But then the vanity mirror. So you always have to check. You can't ever assume that they aren't using it and that it may not be dirty, even if for months and months you've been detailing it and they've never used it once. Well, guess what? Murphy's Law will step in, and the time that you forget to check it will be the time that they decide to finally use it. Same with the glove box. So that's just a little added note. Notice the door jambs are nice and detailed out to perfection. So I keep this thing up weekly. Like I said, these are the kind of customers you want. And that's part about working smart, and a part about my goal as being not the biggest, just the most profitable. So a lot of you are trying to get into the business, and I've had videos where I keep it simple and I don't carry a big water tank or pressure washer around with me. That may not be an option for you, because weekly washing is a source of income. Unfortunately, it's grunt work. You know, $20 for a wash, and it takes you an hour, hour and a half. It's just not worth it. But starting out, you may not have an option. So keeping it simple is relative. You may not be able to keep it as simple as I have. And by the way, I did washing for 15 plus years. It wasn't until I finally had enough customers and I thought, you know what? Washing sucks. Weekly washing sucks. Mostly it's cheap people who let their car get dirty for months and months, and then they decide at a convenience, it's like, oh yeah, hey, it's time to wash. The car wash guy's here. So now you're dealing with like 2 months worth of dirt for 20 bucks. It's grunt work and it sucks, and it will wear you out and wear you into the ground. So that's where I decided no more washing. It's detailing only, and then even past that, it's maintenance detailing. So this is really the ticket as far as profitability. You're not killing yourself. You're not whipping out the buffer. I know you might think the buffer's cool and fun to use, but you'll get over that really quickly. Trust me. So I don't have to do a whole lot of buffing these days. Wash, clay it, wax it, touch up the leather, touch up the carpeting. We're good to go. So there's my little tour, and there's my little 2 cents of advice for the day.